First thing we're going to do is we're going to add 1 cup of warm milk to our bowl. We're going to add half a cup of granulated sugar. And we're going to add 2 packets of active dry yeast. And once we add the second packet, we're going to mix it up and let it sit for about 5 minutes until it gets nice and frothy. So now it's been 5 minutes. We're going to go ahead and put in our softened butter. And I'll put all the ingredients in the description box below. We're going to go ahead and put in our 2 whisked eggs. We're going to mix. And then we're going to add 4½ cups of flour. And half a teaspoon of salt. And you just want to mix well and incorporate everything together until it becomes manageable enough to do it by hand. Now we're going to lightly dust our area here. And you want it to look something like this. All right, now that we have a little ball of dough like this, we're going to get an oiled bowl. We're going to put it in there, and we're going to cover it up for about 30 to 40 minutes until the dough doubles in size. Meanwhile, this is happening, we're going to move on to the filling. We're going to heat up a non-stick pan, and what we're doing is we're going to caramelize the apples. So once your pan is warm, we're going to add 1 cup of granulated sugar. And we're just going to mix until it's nice and caramelized before we add the butter. And this is going to be used as the coating for the apples, as well as the coating for the bottom of the pan where we're going to arrange the apples. Alright, so what you want to get is a nice amber color, like this right here. We want the whole thing to be a nice amber color before we add the butter. Once it's all caramelized, we're going to add our butter. And this is 1 cup of cold butter. Once the butter has incorporated with the caramelized sugar, we're going to go ahead and add our apples. And I've gone ahead and I've sliced up about 5 green apples. And we're going to coat them for about 2 minutes. And you want to make sure you get all your apples because this is what's going to give them that sweet, tasty flavor. Now once I've got all my apples coated, I'm going to transfer the apples out into a different sheet for now, because I'm going to use the juice of the butter and the sugar to coat the bottom of my baking pan. So now that I've separated my apples, I'm going to take the same juice that we coated them in and I'm going to pour it in this baking sheet. And this is going to be the base of the cinnamon rolls. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate the bottom of this sheet with all my apples. And so you just want to, they're still warm, so you want to be careful. Now, once we finish cooking the sugar and we've dumped the sugar in, what we're going to do is we're going to dump the apples directly on top. Now you can do it 2 ways. You can do it this way or you can organize them in nice columns. I don't have time for that because I still have to work. But if you've got the time, you want to make it look nice, just organize them all facing the same way in columns of 4. But I don't have time. So once the apples have been put in the baking sheet, we're going to go ahead and move on to our dough. Now I'm going to go back to our dough. I'm going to place it down here. And you want to roll it out so it's about 1/4 of an inch in thickness. You want to roll it out to a shape of a triangle. And it always helps when you put some flour on your roller as well so that it doesn't stick. So once you got the dough where you want it to be, just make sure it's all even. We're going to go ahead and coat the top with butter. So this is what we're looking for, nice little rectangle shape. And we're going to take our melted butter and just coat the top. So we're going to coat the whole surface. And once we coat it, we're going to add some brown sugar and cinnamon. So now that I put all my butter on there, I have a mixture here of cinnamon and brown sugar. And we're just going to sprinkle this throughout the whole area. Now we're going to start rolling from one side. Just continue rolling all the way to the other side. It should look something like this. Now I'm going to grab some floss so we can cut our rolls. Now that I've finished shaping it, and by shaping I mean rounding out the sides, making sure that this is all connected. Now it looks ready to be cut. I'm going to make my cuts. And we're going to grab our floss, put it underneath, and just cut. And we're going to do these for all our indentations. Now these don't have to be perfect because I'm not perfect and I'm not the best baker, but if I can do this, you can do it. There we go. All right, so now that we have our little cinnamon rolls cut, we're going to go ahead and organize them on our sheet. Like so. And we're going to, once they're organized this way, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cover them up for about 30 minutes so that they can take some time to rise. Alright, so they have been sitting here for about 30 minutes and I've preheated my oven to 400 degrees. We're going to go ahead and bake them for about 25 minutes until they're nice and brown from the top. Now here's what it looks like once it's all baked. I'm going to cut it in half so you guys can see what the inside looks like. It's beautiful and it smells amazing. I always like to eat from the inside out because it's always softer from the inside out. It is delicious. It's a very easy recipe to make. However, it is time consuming, but it's a lot of fun to do with the family, with the kids, especially during downtime like we have now due to the coronavirus. So this is something to kind of distract the family and make together. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, I invite you to subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos.